Good evening, everyone, from Studio B in New Orleans, site of tonight's National Day of Racial Healing Town Hall, which I will be hosting tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, along with Chris Hayes and Tremaine Lee. I will tell you much more about that a little later. But we begin tonight with the real-life confluence of a toxic stew of election denial, extremism, and political violence. It's the type of nightmare scenario that is all too real in America. Police in New Mexico arrested failed Republican legislative candidate Solomon Pena, who they say orchestrated a string of shootings targeting Democratic officials in the state. Last November, Pena lost to his Democratic opponent in a landslide by nearly 50 points, but claimed that he really lost because of so-called fraud. Apparently, he's both an election denier and a sore loser. After the election, a very stable Pena wrote on Twitter, "I dissent. I am the MAGA king." He later posted a photo of himself in MAGA gear, noting that much like Donald Trump, he never conceded. Police say Pena's anger at losing may have motivated him to mastermind the plan to conspire with and pay 4 men to carry out shootings at the Albuquerque area homes of 2 county commissioners and 2 state legislators. Prior to the shootings, he even visited the homes of officials to dispute his loss, including County Commissioner Adrienne Barboa. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the shootings. But as we've seen over and over again since 2020, this is not an aberration. It's now a philosophy for the right and MAGA Republicans. The firm belief that it's just not possible for them to lose, whether it's by 50 points or 5 million votes, backed by a threat of violence. Now, to be clear, not all Republicans who lose will shoot you, but some have no qualms implying they will in their political ads.
Madam Speaker, tear down this wall.
Join the MAGA crew. Get a rhino hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
In 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
It's become the norm on the Republican side. Photo ops with guns, pose with your entire family with rifles, even in front of your Christmas tree. And with it, an implied message that if Republicans don't get what they want, winning, they're prepared to use them. And those implied threats of violence come amid a chilling trend of real-world political violence. It's been barely 6 months since Paul Pelosi, husband of former Speaker Nancy, was attacked with a hammer by an assailant looking for the speaker. A Florida man is in prison for threatening to behead Pelosi, as well as Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. A man was arrested after he showed up with a gun at the home of Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. And Republican Senator Susan Collins told the New York Times last year that she wouldn't be surprised if a member of either chamber were killed. It's not that there's never violence coming from the left. The 2017 congressional baseball game shooting that injured Republican Majority Leader Steve Scalise is an example. But for Republicans, the implied violence is baked into their message. In fact, just a few weeks ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that if she and Steve Bannon had planned January 6th, they would have been armed and won. The embrace of political violence is now almost a religion, an overt form of stochastic terrorism, of political and physical thuggery inside the no longer grand old party. That says if you don't win, take action to seize power anyway, by any means necessary. Fight it in court, go after election officials, overthrow the government, storm the Capitol. An entitlement to rule with devastating consequences, even with Donald Trump in the rearview mirror. And joining me now is Bernalillo County Commissioner and Vice Chair Adrienne Barboa, who was one of the 4 people targeted by the political attacks on New Mexico. And Commissioner, thank you so much for being here. I do want to ask you how you're doing, and if you could just sort of lay out, thank you, how you're doing, and just lay out for us what happened at your home.
Yes, thank you so much. I was out Christmas shopping and came back home to my house being shot up. Literally 4 shots went through my front door and out my back window, literally through my living room where I had just only hours before been playing with my grandbaby. My daughter was visiting, getting ready for Christmas. And
when you learned that go on.
I would just say, it was shocking, and I'm still shocked, and processing this attack continues to be incredibly heavy. Especially knowing that women of color, elected officials are specifically being targeted. In our state, it included our now Speaker of the House, but who's also a Hispanic male Democrat.
Let me ask you this. The climate that we're seeing right now among not all, but some Republicans, and unfortunately a lot of prominent Republicans, is that they are showing a kind of sort of warlord style in their ads, posing with guns, threatening violence, the implied threat that we're armed. We just want to make sure that you know that. Do you feel that kind of rhetoric, that kind of vibe inside the party, along with this idea that they can't lose, that if they lose, it's inherently fraud, do you feel that contributed to what happened to you and the other elected officials?
Oh, I have no doubt about it. Election deniers have, and this movement, this vibe you're talking about is coming from our highest level of government. When they continue to make threats and violence as a regular part of public discourse, it has real impact on our democracy and obviously our lives. Like, these shots came through my front door, through my living room, and out my kitchen. Like, this was direct targeted violence that could have truly harmed and killed somebody. And so that, when we're not careful of our words as elected officials, whether you're at a local level like myself or a congressional and federal level, our words matter, and people are, we have influence. That's the point of taking elected offices, to serve. And we should be more careful of our words and what kind of, what we're promoting.
And this alleged shooter, the person who is accused and has been arrested for this crime and for orchestrating these shootings, apparently visited several of your homes, I believe, including yours, in the weeks before the shooting. Had you ever spoken with him? Did he speak with you? Did he knock on your door and say, hey, I didn't really lose?
Yeah, so I serve on the county commission, and we certify elections locally. The county runs our county elections, and then the county commission certifies it. So yeah, there's about a 2-week period between elections and when we actually certify the elections. And right after the election, in that period of time, he came to my home and to the home of other commissioners. He was a bit erratic, definitely aggressive. I didn't so much feel threatened because I want to believe that our public should be able to reach their elected officials. So I just wanted to listen to him. But he had papers, and he was talking about election fraud and that we must deny the election, and that is the duty of the commissioners to deny the election results. And
is the Republican Party, have they made any statements about the truth of the results of the election? Has there been an attempt from the other side to say no to anyone who doubts the results of the election? These elections were valid, they were fair.
No, they're not, at least in New Mexico. And, we've had a string of election deniers coming through the commission on a regular basis. And then that has just meant that they're, around every corner, they're talking to either our county commission or our county clerk, and really trying to push that the elections are a fraud. I made a statement because we were having so much. I made a statement to them to say, I believe in same-day election. I believe in the quality, integrity of our elections and our county staff. And I was worried that might have been what triggered some of this. I was the first person, I believe, that was targeted.
Well, we wish you well. I'm glad that you're okay and that your family is okay and that you weren't harmed. And I also very much appreciate you coming on the program tonight. Bernalillo County Commissioner Adrienne Barboa, thank you so much, and be well.